If other so-called conservative voices are fakers, then call them out. And also be consistent, dude. The Quartering replies with, Mike Cernovich loves trans... just quit tweeting out of the gate. Right there. Okay. And, yeah, just, woof, boom. He does not stop there. If ever there was a time to let him cook, it would be now, because my man's starts going off on so many different things. If you've been following the Quartering for a little while, you might know that the Quartering is very prone to going on long tweet rants, shall we say, usually late at night, usually on a couple libations, and then at which point he may have the need or desire to piss himself, and then he gets right back to tweeting, and then he'll wake up in the morning and he'll be like, holy fuck, and then he'll delete them all. And he's done that a lot, and it's through this process that we get all kinds of revelations, because he certainly does reveal a lot of stuff about the right, and is also involving himself constantly in right-wing infighting. Now, I don't know if anything he says is true, because he has lied professionally for a very long time. He's a massive weirdo. He does try to cover up the things that we expose him for, like when we, found that old footage of him basically coming out and saying, hey, everybody, if you have child porn on your computer, make sure you delete it before you take it in for repairs, because we look at it and we have to call the cops. So if you want to get away with having child porn, you should basically not delete it off your computer before you, delete it off your computer before you bring it in, because we will look at it. That's what we do. And we had to call in the cops because we found some, unfortunately, for that person. So yeah, protect yourself. He ended up deleting the entire channel. Like, it's just gone now. He had an entire tech channel, and he just deleted the entire thing as soon as that came out. So, it's one of those things. If you catch him in the lies, he does get pretty fucking upset. But that brings us to this. I don't know if you know this. The right are very scared of a couple things. Pronouns and refracted light. They do not like the rainbow. They don't like seeing a spectrum of colors. They don't like spectrums in general, really. They would prefer if the world wasn't monochrome. And every time they see colors, they get more afraid and more scared. And the more colors there are, the more vibrant it gets, the more afraid they become. They just melt instantly. So this is Elijah Schaffer. He formerly worked for The Blaze. He was fired from the Blaze for alleged sexual assault. Apparently, he tried to grope a colleague's breasts without her consent at a premiere, and was subsequently let go and refuses to talk about it. Also, he's a massive transphobic bigot and a massive racist as well. He's just a pretty all-around shitty person. But he got this in the mail and said, "Stop exaggerating. Trans issues aren't that big of a deal. Nobody's forcing anything on you or your family. It's not like we are opening up, shipping trans flags to your doorsteps." And, what's wild is that, like, we all know its power. The raw power of both the trans flag and the rainbow flag. It can turn cis people trans. It can turn straight people gay. I remember the first time that I ever saw a rainbow flag, I instantly wanted to suck a man's cock. It overwhelmed me. And I was like, whoa, that is the power of the rainbow. The same thing happens when I stare at rainbows, just naturally occurring ones. It could have something to do with rainbows. I'm not sure. Might be a me thing. But why are you so afraid of this? We're so saturated with fucking hetero stuff everywhere, all the time. I don't think it's indoctrinating me. I'm not suddenly like, my God, watch, you can't stop being hetero. So much content. Like, it's everywhere. If people want to put stickers on their packaging, how are you? How is this indoctrinating you? Are you this susceptible? Is just a little image of something enough? Is that all it's going to take? It's like, oh, was straight, but now I crave the man cock. Oh, the colors, the prisms. Christian Walker, I'm not sure if you remember, revealed this about Elijah Schaffer.
Elijah wants to act like he's some moral, high and mighty, better than everyone man. He was fired from his job for inappropriate behavior. And not even a year ago at a conservative conference, he did my friend 4 times in one night, unprotected, while he was married. Go get your family life and your morality together, adulterer. You go study up on what morality actually is, because it ain't cheating on your wife. I met your wife. She was really kind, and it's gross to what you do to her behind her back when you go to conservative conferences without her. Don't you ever speak on my family and my family business before you get your family life together. Cheater.
Okay, so when that came out, I never for a second thought that he could be speaking about another man. I thought it was that Elijah Schaffer had slept with a right-wing woman at a conference. I didn't make that assumption. I'll tell you why. I think it's wrong to assume if people are gay, straight, or bi, and to make presuppositions based on those. And also, it's a really bad thing to out people. It's very dangerous. It can result in people getting death threats, losing their jobs, losing their families, stuff like that. It is a very serious thing. And as someone who is within ever so slightly the LGBTQ plus wonderful rainbow that it is, it's a very dangerous aspect of being queer. In that if someone reveals it, yeah, you could be in danger as a result of that. Depends where you live, depends on your friends, your family, or what kind of situation you have, but you might be hiding in plain sight to survive. There's a really big thing amongst the gay community, for example, that they can't operate in the same way, and this is the trans community as well, they can't operate in the same way that heterosexual people do. They have to be careful because there are instances where they will think someone is gay, or they will hook up with someone who might be processing their own feelings of bisexuality or homosexuality, and if they get caught and the person then hurts them, they use the gay panic defense. Or the same thing happens to trans people, where in order to justify acts of violence, they try to say, well, I was tricked by this trans person, see, and then that's why I committed this act of violence and savagery. And so it is a very serious thing. It absolutely 100% is. Once someone has done that, once someone has outed another individual, it then becomes part of, the news, especially if they're a large public figure. And then suddenly it's something that other people would begin to speak about. So you can report on those kind of stories without engaging in the practice yourselves. So in the strongest possible terms, I will say, do not ever out someone. If they've told you something about themselves, or you know something about them that is very special or very important or very secret to them, do not put them in danger by revealing that to the rest of the world for your own financial gain. You'd have to be a scumbag to do that. Enter the quartering. Content warning, everyone. Slurs. All right, so the quartering in his... Oh, I should actually back up even more, actually. This story is even more interesting. I don't want to forget one important piece. You need to know some background story before you know why the quartering is going on these wild rants that he is, all right? Yeah, this has also been deleted, but this is what I believe to be, is in so far as my reporting on this topic, the origin story of a lot of this. But the quartering is currently going on a defending a trans woman arc, not one that I expected to see. It is 2023. We see some odd things from time to time. And by the way, this does not in any way absolve the quartering of his lifetime of bigotry and marginalizing people for cash. He would have to do an outrageous amount of work to be down a pathway of restorative justice. This is just him and a whole bunch of inner fighting. But also, it's kind of parts of it interesting to see because it's conservatives starting to grapple with concepts that the left did a long, long time ago, such as the idea of, and I'm sure a lot of liberals and people learned about this, especially if you're cis, traps, or the concept of traps. It does play into what I was speaking about earlier, about the trans panic defense. There's something amongst the community that is called a chaser. And a chaser is someone who pursues trans people while usually simultaneously vilifying them and showing bigotry towards them, but also being sexually obsessed with them. There's quite a few chasers that are also massive bigots. Alex Jones is a huge chaser. Joe Rogan is a huge chaser. And now the quartering wants to bring light to some others. This started because Blair White originally made, she's done this before, she does like a photo shoot of herself in a bikini, and then she'll say something like, if a conservative woman has a bulge in her pants, it's because it's a gun, blah, 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 while also being a trans woman. So a lot of people were quick to point that out. But people on the right, and a lot of elements of the right, especially the Christian nationalists and the Christian fascists, they have zero tolerance for this kind of stuff. They are currently on a pathway to saying out loud, we need to eliminate these people from existing. They're not here to, quote, hang out with the good ones, or the pick-me's, or the ones that are now socially acceptable amongst the right to be friends with and not talk to them as if they are degenerate, sinful, terrible people. But there's a lot of right-wingers who are stuck in that phase. So this was a conservative saying, conservatives are playing a dangerous game, playing along with this insanity. Thirst trapping straight men into having sexual thoughts about the same sex while counterfeiting as a woman is wicked. Please repent, Miss Blair White. And then out of nowhere, the quartering smashes through the wall like the Kool-Aid guy. And it's like,
everyone already knows Blair White is trans. I don't think you can effectively speak to Blair's intentions here. I'm pretty positive this post isn't meant to thirst trap straight men.
And I was like, whoa, this is like baby's first ContraPoints video or something. You know, cis baby's first what are traps 101, you know? So that is what I believe begun the schism, in that the Quartering went to defend Blair White, who is a trans woman, because there is a large percentage of the right now who are actively trying to eliminate trans people from existing, and they are ramping up their rhetoric rapidly. Look at Michael Knowles, look at Tim Pool, look at fucking Steven Crowder, look at all these motherfuckers who are just, Matt Walsh, who are just saying the quiet part out loud. Also, craven cowards, might I add, the Matt Walshes of the world and the Michael Knowles who are like, oh, I didn't say eliminate trans people. I said transgenderism. Ooh, woo. It's different. I want to get rid of the ideology. Ooh, woo. It's like, no, motherfuckers, own your shit. You fucking coward ass Nazis. On one end, it's like, yeah, I don't want transgenderism to exist anymore. And it's like, yeah, you can't separate being trans if you're a trans person from your existence. You're just being cowards. Own this shit. If you're gonna be fascists, fucking fly the fascist flag. So that takes us to the Quartering getting into massive fights online with a whole bunch of other right-wingers. People, shots fired back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Now, again, I don't know how much of this is real or how much of it is the Quartering just doing this for content, because that's what he does. He mines his colleagues for content as he mines his audience for content, as he that's all he cares about is fucking paychecks, you know? Everyone, every single time there's like some weird cycle, he'll do this whole like, I need your help, guys. I think I'm gonna lose my YouTube channel. All of you have to like and subscribe and then join my email list. If you join this email list I made, I'm definitely not gonna sell out your information to third parties, and you can sign up for prizes. You could get a whole bunch of prizes. I'll buy you candy. It's going to be great. And then like he does that every 2 to 3 years is kind of how the cycle goes. So anyways, once again, content warning, there will be slurs in what he says. All right, so yup, wife cheaters, fake religious, trans cock lovers. This is a large chunk of the right wing. Source: I've hung out with these people IRL. Jeremy, if you were so sure, then name names. Otherwise, move along. You had no problem putting Tim Pool on blast, and rightly so. So, if other so-called conservative voices are fakers, then call them out. And also be consistent, dude. The Quartering replies with, Mike Cernovich loves transcock. just quit tweeting out of the gate. Right there. Okay. Well, Mike Cernovich has been called out by the Quartering publicly. It's now a matter of record. Don't worry, these are all gone in the sense that he's deleted them all in a sober regret the next morning, but they are Wayback Machines. So yes, these are authentic, actual tweets. And yeah, just woof, boom. He does not stop there. If ever there was a time to let him cook, it would be now, because my man's starts going off on so many different things. But can you prove it? Excuse me if I don't just believe you because you say so. Prove it, instead of just claiming it. He wrote a whole article about sucking trans cock. Do people not do an ounce of research? And I also didn't, thank you for informing me. I didn't know that about Mike Cernovich. This might be the only good thing that Mike Cernovich will ever be known for, is that he is actually, well, I mean, he's still kind of like, he actively wants to be a bigot for pay against trans people while being sexually attracted to them simultaneously. So the very definition of a chaser, that would be Mike Cernovich. And a lot of these people, by the way, he starts to become a little more ambiguous in his later accusations, where we're going to see Elijah Schaffer and Jack Posobiec make appearances. All right, so loads of right-wing commentators are either closeted gays or T-slur chasers. Look, I accept and support them, but many of these people you think are based and red-pilled love trans cock, or well, cock in general. Deal with it. The modern right wing is controlled and psyoped. They are worse NPCs than the left. If this makes you mad, then unfollow. Lol. Oh, sorry. If this makes you mad, then unfollow. If you can't see the obvious, then I can't help you. Most of these pundits love cock. They love drugs. They love cheating on their spouses. Now, we all knew this, right? I mean, there's been multiple revelations, not to mention it just time and time and time again. If there's some religious Christo-fascist preacher, it's like, hey, the guy who said that gay people are an abomination and they need to be cleansed from the earth, yeah. So he was just found with 2 young male prostitutes and a whole bunch of crystal meth, and apparently had just been having sex with these young underage male prostitutes and doing tons of crystal meth for days, just days and days and days. It's like, oh, yet another GOP person was found outside of a school masturbating. It's like, yet another? Why is the rap sheet so hard? Why are the fucking pedophile hunters all fucking pedophiles? It seems like it's a massive fucking tell every single time. It's just like, oh yes, another GOP politician apparently was having an affair with a minor. And it's like, yes, at this point, there's more who I feel have not done that. So like maybe I'm just going to assume by default that if you are a far-right MAGA Republican, at some point or another, you've probably committed sex offenses. Maybe that's what we should do. You know, the exact same thing, but in reverse. You want to get mad at me. You want to, I don't know if this is a slur, out in the comments, but I've seen it all. I know it's insulting. I don't know if it's like something that would get me kicked off of Twitch in the comments, but I've seen it all. I've hung out with these people. I've partied with these people. They are not living, they are not living life, they are not living live in God's image. They are not living live in God's image. They are as degenerate as they pretend to fight. Why are you writing like an anime villain? Why do you have to end every one of these with like, ha 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 ha? If you think I'm making it up, maybe take 90 seconds of your own time to do a little digging. I am 100% out on this new conservative push. Now, here's where things go from funny to very fascinating to me. And again, don't know if any of this is true, but it is very refreshing to hear and see how strong schisms are amongst the right to the far right, because the quartering, like, none of this absolves even for a second the shit that this man has done his entire life. He has dedicated his fucking making an empire and fortune through the marginalization of black people, trans people, gay people, indigenous people, women bad, women bad, women bad. Like, that is his fucking bread and butter, okay? He has hundreds of thousands of hours of just hatred, vile hatred on the internet. And even so, for the kind of pulp culture lull for the memes crowd, and they're the ones who are really, more than anything, like, yeah, they do politics and everything they talk about is political because they're inherently talking about things where people's very existence is political. But for them, it seems like the whole Christo-fash kind of side where they're like, we have to eliminate trans people from existing and that is our calling and that is what will dictate all of our policy from here on out. It seems for the pop culture righties, they're kind of like, I mean,
clean up your room.
Like, there's some good trans people. I like Blair White. She's my friend, and you know, I don't want to lie. I guess maybe I am secretly sexually attracted to her. Maybe that means that she is in fact a woman, because I'm not gay and I don't feel gay. So maybe trans women are women, and so maybe like we should not be persecuting them all. Like, I don't know what the thought process was, but it feels like some gears may have turned. But again, you cannot take a single, like, we are reading a false narrator right now, okay? These are the individuals who will try and deceive us, okay? I'm 100% out on this new conservative push. And I like how he spelled new, like new metal. In fact, you know what that calls for. Okay, no Dimka for me, please. Be mad about it. Thing in my replies. I won't see it. There are dozens of creators. You can follow that for the charade you seek. I am not going to pretend just to maintain a paycheck. This is a very bad road to take. And I am out. There are loads of mid-level creators jumping on board because they are afraid of the backlash. I don't blame them. I'm taking plenty of heat, but I'm very lucky and blessed that I don't need to worry about it. My viewers know who I am. I don't need to fake it. And now, we don't know why you gotta name them, bro. And so the quartering adds, Elijah. Wait, is 2 not enough? I love how he's just like, he's playing fast and loose with everybody here, you know? He's like, is 2 not enough? How many of these people do I have to out to get your respect? Jack How many more? Jack Posobiec, the white supremacist, white nationalist, the guy who loves tweeting 1488 or 1844 or 88 or all that kind of stuff, the one who tweeted at the ADL saying, hey, y'all know what happens last time someone tried to make lists. You know, that guy, yeah, the white supremacist. There's a Southern Poverty Law Center article on Jack Posobiec, and yet some people still feel like they can just pal around with him. Jimmy Dore is a good example. Jimmy Dore is just like, I'll quote tweet him, who cares? Doesn't matter that he's a white supremacist. Who cares about it? So anyways, it turns out that, and again, we don't know in what direction Quartering is outing here, and I don't want to speculate. So this could be that Jack and Elijah Schaffer are homosexuals. This could mean that they are interested in trans women, which would make them heterosexuals. But the fact that they are also open and proud bigots towards trans people would effectively make them chasers. And Quartering is, you know, just on a roll, you know. Yes, Jeremy, you hang out with them now, talking shit behind their back for profit. Look, everyone, a real stand-up guy. Losing credibility fast. Forget about that penis they made you touch and kiss. Are you fucking 5?
Yeah, I feel like you're gay and you want to touch a penis. It's what gay people do, right? Just give it a little poke. Just a little, oh, hi, hey fella. How you doing there? Yeah, you're looking pretty good. Oh, yeah.
I am taking shit right out in front, kid. Right out in public, kid. Jack Posobiec and Elijah Schaffer are known cocksmokers. That's an objective fact. So, I've outed 3 major conservative creators and people will still demand more. How many of these folks were liminal order folks? Again, though, we cannot speculate because these could be the wonderful and noble lady cock, or these could be, you know, the handsome and rugged man cock. I'm not entirely sure which cocks they're referring to. But again, pretty wild for the Quartering to just be doing for free. By the way, like you're just you're quote tweeting reply guys and just giving them exactly what they ask for. You owe them nothing. Like you're not beholden to these. You don't have to be like, oh, well, serves you, kid. I'll out another conservative grifter. Lots of panic in my DMs. Don't care. Can't wait for tomorrow live, 9 a.m. No, I don't know where that recording would have been. Does he do Rumble or Odyssey? The Quartering Odyssey live. He just uploads his YouTube and his shorts here. He doesn't do anything live. Well, let's see if he has given any updates. Chris Rock destroys Will Smith. Watch the full video here. I embark on a 14-day timeline cleanse. Oh man, the morning regret. Gotta put the Peanuts sad song. That's too bad. Another one of those, eh? I will now embark on a 14-day timeline cleanse of only posting pictures of my pets. If I cannot complete this simple task, I will deactivate my Twitter. For the 400th time he's threatened this, I am a puppy sitting for this little turd today. His name is Finn. Very cute. Very, very adorable. Chris Rock destroys Will Smith. Watch full video here. Could this qualify as you already breaking your own terms? Maybe? You know? He said he's going to only post pet for 14 days and lasted 4 hours. By the way, I haven't seen the Chris Rock routine that everyone is delighted by. I really should watch it.
We all been cheated on. Everybody in here have been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. None of us.
Started a friendship with August. And we became good friends. We actually became really good friends.
Oh, yeah, I forgot how much the right is obsessed with cucking. Because they're obsessed with, like, you know, archetypes and controlling and possessing women. So the very idea of another man having sex with your wife is just, like, other godly. It's just like, oh, the ultimate sin. The worst thing of all, the cuck. Nothing worse than the cuck. So that was the Quartering's night. I feel like he had himself a time. And it's pretty wild. Yeah. Good job, Jeremy. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.